Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode. And today we're going to be talking about work life balance. I know, right? This is one of those terms that everyone talks about. It seems kind of elusive, what does it really mean? Has anyone ever really achieved that? What can it look like? And honestly, lately I've heard a lot of people talking about how we shouldn't use this phrase anymore, how it's, toxic and it's unhelpful. Honestly, I still use it a bit because it's just what people know and it's kind of that common terminology. And I think instead of getting hung up in what to call it or a better phrase for it, honestly, I think we just need to define it better for ourselves and define what work life balance or whatever you want to call it, what you want it to look like for you, and how you can really achieve it for yourself. So let's dive into today's work life balance conversation. First off, I want us to address work life balance and think about your relationship to this term. Think about what it really means to you now. Think about maybe all the different times you've heard it used, some of the different metaphors that have come up along the way, and think about how we do kind of put it on this really, really high pedestal for ourselves. And we talk about it again like it's this elusive thing. And generally, when we're talking about work life balance, people tend to define it along the lines of something like you are getting everything done at work and you're getting everything done at life, and things are just harmonious or they are in some sort of balance, right? Maybe you're not too stressed out, you're getting everything done, everyone feels happy, right? And even talking through it right now, honestly, it sounds like a movie or those shows back in the 1950s and 60s where everything was perfect at home, everything's perfect at work, and we don't complain about stress. We're not stressed out, we're not anxious, none of these things, everything's perfect, right? Yeah, that is unrealistic. I know everyone would love for things to be perfect. We'd love to not be stressed out. We'd love to not be anxious and not be worried about what's coming tomorrow. But honestly, in the world that we're living in currently, that is unrealistic. And even if we think about different times and different metaphors that are used around the term work life balance, the one that always comes to mind for me is we're always talking about plates, right? We have a lot on our plate. We have all these plates in the air. And even thinking about those metaphors really visually, I'm a very visual person, and I know it helps a lot of people to think about things visually as well. So thinking about having a lot of things on your plate or having a lot of plates in the air, I even picture someone literally juggling plates. It's one of those things that even the visual and the metaphors we use around it are so unrealistic. Who wants to be juggling plates? That sounds like a terrible idea. Doesn't sound fun at all. Sounds unrealistic and probably a bit dangerous and wasteful for your plates. So instead, let's start thinking about a different metaphor for work-life balance and for these metaphorical plates. And again, the plates are representing all the things that we have on our to-do list, right? When it's things at work, the different projects, the different tasks for you and your team, but then also at home, the family dynamics and cooking dinner every night, getting the kids ready for school, whatever it is for you, think of all those things on your to-do list. And when we're coming up with a new metaphor for work-life balance in these plates, let's think about, instead of trying to juggle these plates, let's think about bringing them down from the air. First and foremost, let's bring them down, safely packed in a backpack, right? Make it easier for us to carry them. Maybe we're putting some away in the cupboards. Maybe we're handing some to other people to help us carry them. There's a lot of other ways we can move forward with this metaphor that is a lot more peaceful for us, gives us a lot more grace, a lot more ease, and a lot more flexibility. It's unrealistic to think that we're going to just keep adding more and more and more on our plates or keep juggling more and more plates and not put anything down, not ask for help, not adjust anything else, right? We need to think about how to adapt. And that's the premise here today about work-life balance that I really want to bring home for you, is that, again, whatever the terminology you're using for work-life balance, it's not about some elusive way to live your life that you can make everything perfect and stress-free. That's not realistic. Instead, we need to understand how to be more adaptive, more flexible, take things off our plate, ask for help, and lower our stress ourselves and take more responsibility for it. And a lot of this too is recognizing that there's so much of a ebb and flow in life, and we need to be able to ebb and flow with that as well. There's going to be some weeks where you're crazy busy at work, and there's going to be some weeks that you're super busy at home. And we need to be able to be flexible with those. We need to maybe anticipate some of these as they're coming up. We need to plan ahead. We need to be proactive. We need to be more strategic with our schedules, with our time, with the people in our lives as well. And we're going to go through some tactics today to help you manage that. First off, one of my favorite examples of one of my clients creating an amazing work-life balance for her and her family is a client who is a tax accountant, which if you know any tax accountants personally or professionally, you know that their busy season is, February, March, April, before the April 15th tax deadline. And the tax accountant client hired me in January knowing that she was about to go into busy season, knowing that she was about to have a ton on her plate, and she wanted some help to work through how to navigate all of these priorities while also having a lot of priorities in her personal life with her kids and her husband. It was so incredible to see the transformation we were able to make in her time, her schedule, her priorities, her boundaries, and overall her work-life balance. One of her goals was to be able to take a few days off of work in early April when her kids had their spring break, which just happened to be a few weeks before the major tax deadline. She said for 13 years, she was always working nights, weekends, just working constantly, especially during the first few weeks of April and end of March in order to meet this tax deadline. But through our work together, again, starting in January and working weekly on her different priorities, her schedules, and working through these different mindsets that she had, she was able to take several days off of work in early April, right before the tax deadline. And she was even able to leave a day earlier than expected because she was so ahead of her work. This is so powerful. I hope you realize how big of a deal that is for someone who is usually working so much overtime, so much nights and weekends leading up to this deadline. So it is possible. Work-life balance is real. Again, whatever you want to call it, it's possible. And a lot of it just comes down to being a bit more intentional with your time, with your priorities, and navigating through the busyness. Some specific techniques to help you when you're navigating really busy work or personal life and you're trying to find that ebb and flow, that balance, that harmony, whatever you want to call it. The first place I recommend you look is understanding what are the things that are slowing you down. What are the stops for you? Or what is stopping you? A lot of times for people, when we're in our busy season of life or work, we just get so consumed by everything coming at us that we can't even think that clearly, and we're just kind of reacting to what's coming towards us. But I want you to stop, just take a few moments and think about what's really stopping you. Are you so overwhelmed that you can't think straight? You don't even know what the priorities are? Are you spiraling maybe because there's just so much to do that you're just maybe avoiding doing anything at all? Or maybe you're just avoiding the really hard things or things that feel hard to you. Are they certain projects or people that you need to talk to that you've been avoiding for a while? Are there certain things on your schedule that are weighing you down and things that you really don't need to be a part of anymore, but you're still sucked into it and you don't want to say no, or you don't want to hurt someone's feelings? What are the things on your schedule, your to-do list? What is coming up for you that's really stopping you from doing it? So usually there's something that maybe you're holding on to that you don't need to be holding on to anymore. Maybe there's just so many things on your plate that you can't even prioritize them. So maybe you need to start delegating, you need to start saying no to things. Or maybe you have plenty of time to do the things, but you're so scared to get started, or you're worried about how hard it's going to be that you're not starting it, or you're only doing the easy things. So figure out which of those sounds most like you, or take some time to really ask yourself, what is stopping me from moving forward? And what is the support that I need in order to move forward? Another thing that can be super helpful here when you're in this overwhelm of being super busy and you're trying to balance all the priorities is honestly just doing some sort of brain dump to get all of these priorities, to-dos out of your head and onto paper, or just say them out loud to someone else. This happens a lot with my clients where when they get on a call, I can tell they're super overwhelmed, they're stressed, their energy is super high, and I can tell they just haven't even taken a deep breath all day. So that's where we start. Take a deep breath, right? Mm. That always helps me a ton, no matter where I'm at. And then just start talking through or writing through all the things on your mind that you have to get done. And again, depends on your timeline. Maybe this week, today, wherever you're in the thick of it, just start listing things out. And honestly, this can help a ton. Just getting out of your head, starting to organize it. And then obviously from there, you want to start breaking things down as much as you can. So a lot of times too, when we have something big on our plate, it just feels so daunting when it's in our head because we have a million different steps that go under that you can't always think through all the steps in chronological order in your head. They just come to you randomly, or you wake up in the middle of the night. Oh my gosh, did I send that email? Oh my gosh, I can't remember if I did that thing. Oh my gosh, tomorrow I need to remember to follow up with this person. First of all, stop that from happening. We don't want you to be so stressed that you're waking up in the middle of the night worried about things. But trust me, I've been there too. And these things help a ton with that. I don't do that anymore. So you want to start writing them out and then start breaking them down into the smaller steps, as small as you can. And then put them in some sort of order of priority. Maybe it's, you're adding deadlines to them so that you can then do reverse chronological order. A lot of times we're stressed about things that you don't even need to look at until next week. So wait until next week. Don't worry about it right now. Think about the things that need to get done today. What are the top priorities? What are the things that will make the biggest difference? A lot of times we focus on just the easy things just to feel good and, get some things done and crossed off our list. And that's great and all. But if it's stopping you from doing the big things, then you need to switch it. Or you need to go back and forth. Maybe do an easy thing and then a hard thing. And after you do a hard thing, reward yourself with another easy thing, right? Try a few different techniques and see what works best for you. Find a technique that will help you prioritize. A lot of times too, what can work well is at the end of each workday, you can make a list for yourself for the next day to say, okay, these are my top 3 priorities for tomorrow. So no matter what else comes up, I know these need to be done, and preferably just do them right away in the morning to get them done. That can help a ton. Again, a lot of times we're getting sucked into things that don't really matter. We're getting caught up in our emails and things that are just not urgent. So think about what's actually urgent, what's actually important, and we want to prioritize those. And another huge technique I want you to start practicing is asking for help. I know this is so hard to hear. I've been in different workshops where I've taught this technique before, talked about it, and I can see people getting uncomfortable as I say it. Like their shoulders go up, they're kind of like scrunching, and I can just see the tension. And honestly, it does come up mostly with women that we tend to avoid asking for help. I know there's a ton of mindset blocks behind that too, of thinking, oh, that means I'm admitting that I'm not good at this, or I'm not good enough, or it means I'm stupid, or I'm dumb, or they're going to judge me, they're going to think I'm not good enough to be here. There's a lot of negative self-talk that goes into it. I know there is. And it's okay, do it anyways. Because a lot of times we need that help. But this little voice in our head is convincing us that it will mean something about us if we ask for help, as if it'll mean something negative about us. But honestly, I've seen over and over and over and over again that when we do ask for help, it honestly brings us closer to these other people. It allows us, again, most importantly, take things off of our plate. Take some plates out of the air, whatever the metaphor is you want to play with here. We want to ask other people, hey, could you hold this plate? Hey, could you help me carry this? Hey, I have a lot going on right now. It'd really help me if you could do this. Hey, do you have a better way of doing this? This comes up a lot with coaching clients too, especially women, that they'll be doing the brain dump, listing out all the things on their plate. And a lot of times other people are involved in these, right? People they're working with, people at home, their partners, their loved ones. And sometimes I just ask, have you asked for help? So many women say, wow, I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think to ask for help. It's like, okay, let's start there. You don't have to do it all yourself. You don't have to wear all of this weight on your shoulders. And a lot of times other people love to help. They can see when you're stressed. They can see that you have a lot going on and they would love to help. So let them help you. Make it easy for them. Come up with specific things that you need help with. Ask very specifically, clearly what you need help with and by when. Easy. Let's start there. So again, going back to our new plate metaphor about work-life balance, and instead of juggling them, instead of piling more and more onto a plate, we're going to start putting some plates away. Maybe you don't need to think about this till next week. Put it away. Maybe you are going to ask someone to help carry some plates. We're going to hand a plate to someone else. Say, hey, can you help with this? We're going to maybe stack them up, put them in a bag, make it a lot easier to carry, be more intentional with it. And we're going to inspect these plates, Are they really that scary? Why am I putting this one off? Why haven't I worked on this? Think about it a little bit more. Be more intentional about which plates you're focused on, which ones deserve your attention the most, and put the little ones away for now. Or again, ask for help. A few more examples from some of my clients who've been working through work-life balance. One of them, actually a few of them, have used a really simple technique that we came up with because they kept working late. And it was one of those things that they were just getting caught up in their work. They had so much to do. And towards the end of the day, it would get maybe quiet in the office so they could actually get time to focus and work through whatever was left on their to-do list for the day. But they then found that they were getting home late, then they had to start dinner, and it just delayed their whole night, and they weren't getting as much time at home with their loved ones. So something really simple we started practicing is setting an alarm on their phone for when they need to leave, when they need to leave work, when they need to shut down their computer. And some of them actually had to put an extra buffer in there because they also found that as they were leaving the office, a lot of people would stop them on the way out, ask more questions, and it just took them 20, 30 minutes to just get out of the building. So we would need to plan for that as well if that happens for you too. So think about what time it is you really want and need to be leaving work or shutting down for the night, and put some practices in place to help you actually stick to that. Maybe you need that buffer before you're walking out the door. Maybe you need an extra 15 minutes at the end of the day before you're logging off to finalize any last emails you need to send out or work on that to-do list for tomorrow. Just think of those different practices that can help you stay on top of your time, stay on schedule, and stick to your priorities. A lot of other things that I've come up with clients do revolve around getting so many emails. This can be such a time suck for people that you're getting dozens or hundreds of emails a day, and then you're also have your to-do list for the day, you have meetings during the day, you have people stopping by your office or messaging you throughout the day with more things to work on or more questions to answer. If this is what you're working on too, a lot of times what you need is just some more systems and structure in place to help you, first of all, be able to focus on what you need to focus on and be able to communicate some boundaries to other people at work so that you have time to focus. Because a lot of times what it comes down to is that you're just being pulled in so many different directions and you're getting all these, email notifications, IM notifications, people walking through the door that you just don't have time to focus on your work. So a lot of times you just need some boundaries. You need some boundaries for yourself and for other people. So one place I often start with clients is looking at their email habits. Is your email open all day, every day? Are you getting notifications all day, every day? Are they interrupting you from your work? Maybe you need to turn off your notifications. Or maybe you need to just block a half an hour twice a day, and that's your email time, and that's it. It depends on what you're working on or your business and if that makes sense and if that's doable for you. But a lot of times our emails are not urgent. Other people may want you to think that they're urgent because it's something they need, but most of the time it's not. So think about your habits with your email and how do you want it to go differently? And even thinking about how often you're checking your email at home, on your phone, on the weekends. Is it the first thing you read in the morning? Let's not do that. Let's not do that, okay? Let's not have it be the first thing you think about every day. That's not that healthy for you mentally. And for the most of us, I don't think anything is that urgent that you need to be thinking about it right away in the morning. Also, again, think about your notifications, how many things are interrupting you throughout the day. And maybe you need to start blocking some time just for focus time, for deep work on your calendar, however much time you need per day for that. Maybe it's an hour a day, Maybe it's 3 hours a day, whatever you need for your work. And when you're in this focus state, you need to have boundaries with other people so that they know, okay, every day from 2 to 3, I'm going to be working in my focus state. Please don't interrupt me. I'm going to have my phone on silence. I'm not going to be answering emails. If something is truly urgent, you can interrupt me. But my expectation and my request is that I get this hour a day to focus. And people are so respectful of that. People want you to do your job well, right? And they want to support you. So it doesn't have to mean anything negative about you that you're putting up a boundary that you need to be focused at a certain time each day. So, wrapping up for today, our key takeaways when it comes to work-life balance. First of all, decide what you want work-life balance to mean to you and how you want to start shifting your relationship with that. How can you start to lean into the ebb and flow of life and work so that things can be more realistic and more attainable for you? Understand what's getting in your way and what's slowing you down, and then get clear on your priorities so that you can focus on what's most important for you. And lastly, ask for help. I promise it's going to be okay if you ask for help. It's not as scary as it seems, and other people will gladly help you. Okay, that's it for today. I'll see you in the next episode.